real news segment and do real news, and then they get these real low ratings and like, well, what do we have to do? And like, oh, well, you got to show cute little puppy dogs, basically, entertain people to death. And their ratings went up, and that's what they learned, and that's how people are now. I mean, they get the news that they deserve. You know what I'm saying?
Ironically, though, mainstream news now has very low ratings compared to a few years ago. People are switching off the TVs and drones. Millions of people in the United States are cancelling their cable. It's starting to get kind of tense out there. People haven't got TV to distract them anymore. Well, some of them do.
Well, you're an optimist, that's for sure. It has been recently. There are more and more people that are tuning out. Even relatives, they'll still turn it on once in a while, but I am hearing more about friends and family that say, I'm just done with the tube. It's just nothing. Most of the movies are, garbage. The music is garbage. So, and they're going to the internet, and that's why you're seeing the noose getting tighter and tighter. I mean, literally every day. I mean, you and I both are, we're knee deep in news, so we know that this is happening. All these different laws, in Australia, and it's always in the guise of protecting and saving the children and whatnot, And you lost your freedoms. So I mean, you're not. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't want to.
Well, it's coming down to chocolate and vanilla, right? You've had chocolate all your life. You love it. It's great. You wouldn't have any other ice cream. And then all of a sudden there's this new flavor come out called vanilla. And you're wondering, maybe I might just give it a try. Or do I say to myself, nah, I'm a chocolate man. I've had it all my life and I don't want to try anything else. Now, that's the kind of thing, it's like the old dogs and new tricks saying.
Right.
People have basically, their minds have been warped into old dogs.
And it's like what you said in the beginning about the choices. You get choice A or choice B. Well, they're coming from the same person. Both both options are coming from the same person. So you don't really have. It's an illusion of options. It's an illusion of choices.
I mean, seriously, it's like Shiva offering you 4 chocolates and spinning them all around and stuff and saying, which one do you want, which one do you want? It's just like, I can't even point at the one that I want. Right. Yeah. Anyway, more cupcake jokes after the show, ladies and gentlemen. After the break, sorry. We'll be right back. Zachary Baker from GGNonline.com.
Welcome to the world's meeting place. American.
It's practically narcotics.
Freedom.
Oh, yes. I like very much.
Radio.
You're an American institution.
American Freedom Radio.
Listen to Time for Him, hosted by Casper Leach. Afternoons, Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Central. Only on American Freedom Radio.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Vinney Eastwood Show. The lighter side of genocide, because in a world so full of chaos and madness, if you lose that sense of humour, you'll go friggin' nuts. And by goodness, are there some nuts people in the truth movement? Anybody who has a YouTube channel or has been doing anything, anywhere, anytime, will come across these people. And even if you're not the one doing it, if you're the one watching them and commenting and all of that kind of stuff, you will see all of these comments. They're just people who are complete craziness, throwing out accusations that have absolutely no basis of any kind in reality with zero supporting evidence, and then you call them on it and they say, well, I'm just asking questions, if you got something against it, something ask questions, bro, for goodness sake, calm down. It's not that big a deal. It's just the end of the world. What's the point going around and attacking everybody else? Why don't you make something of yourself instead of trying to bring somebody else down? Zachary Baker is my guest from GGOnline.com, the Global Government News Network, news for the North American Union. And Why did you make the North American Union your issue? I mean, is it something about you served, you love your country, etc., you know, you want to protect its borders and, you know, perhaps not see them merged into some uber super state which will destroy your entire country's sovereignty and inflate the currency and give all the wealth to the hands of private bankers? Is that about right?
Well, to be honest with you, it was kind of a play on words, being sarcastic. You know, most people don't want to admit they see, global government news. What the H is this? You know, it's and in the North American Union, it exists, yet you know people don't want to acknowledge it. So I just put it out there like that.
Do you have a Spanish and French affiliates, perhaps?
Oh, not yet, but we're working on it.
You know, it would actually be an idea. Let's say, for example, the New World Order wants one company that's like a global syndicate, right, to control all media. And at the moment, they've just got the illusion of separate companies, you know, but they're all working together, really. They're certainly not going to destroy each other unless the say-so is given. So what about we? And the royal we, everybody in the Truth Movement and all these eclectic websites or anything like that, I think collectively, just by themselves and their own volition, wherever they are in the world or whatever they're doing with their websites, whatever news they're reporting, has by proxy created the exact countermeasure that will be necessary to overthrow the current mainstream media. Yeah, because it's armed with a weapon that is very powerful and very difficult to get rid of. It's the truth.
Yes, people are attracted to the truth, and unfortunately for our time, for our generation, we have the internet, and it's an amazing thing. I mean, to be able to sit here and talk to you all the way in New Zealand and here in the United States, it is a powerful tool, and you know, I don't want to say coming together is in a big, love, joy, peace fest, but just recently somebody asked me to work on something. On YouTube, there's someone called Dutch Sense, and he does weather modification and whatnot, and, they asked me, you could be little news, just puts it all together, and you can do this, and someone can do that. So I'm working on that right now. So
yes, and this is the world of the truther, man. You do something by yourself, and then all of a sudden a couple of other people who do stuff by themselves start talking to each other, and then they wind up organizing themselves together and making something together, right? Without having to rely on each other per se, because, doing my own thing here, I need support and what have you, and just in general, but in terms of the day-to-day runnings of the website, everything's sweet as, right? But when an idea comes up where you think about how many other things you can do that you simply don't have time, and other people show up and they wind up fulfilling those roles. Every time you need somebody to, they somehow turn up.
Yeah, life is strange like that. It is.
I kind of see us as sort of like rocks in the stream of the universe, right? The rock will just sit there, and the universe will just make its way around it.
Yeah, it is crazy how people kind of meet. Like you were saying before, one of my best friends is, excuse me, I just met him at a political rally, and I was with somebody else. Never knew that this guy was going to be my best friend, but we both came with the same idea, which is basically, you can call it liberty or freedom, whatever, sovereignty, and that brought us together. And ever since then, we've both grown with our perception of reality, our views on life. Things that we thought one thing, now it's changed. And we wouldn't have done that if it wasn't for collaborating of ideas. So yeah. It applies with the media too, and alternative media. It'll get better. It'll get bigger, I think, as long as we can. They don't clamp down on it too much too soon. I think it will grow enough to where they're not going to be able to stop it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I see that the media itself, online at least, has become very influential, to the point where it's number one on Google searches. Even though Google downgrades them, they still go back up to number one, kind of thing, We really are winning the war online. And it just begs the question, what kind of measure do they have to take in order to stop us that won't have a massive public backlash?
Oh, you're getting into the realm of false flag conspiracy type situations, possibly cyber attacks. They've played that off before. Just recently in the United States, claiming that a water facility for drinking water, and that was shut down due to Russian cyber attack. And it came down that it was all false, not even true. But something similar to that would be enough reason to just basically pull the plug on it. The kill switch, as I think Obama calls it.
Oh, my God. So, let me get this straight. I'm Obama, and I'm in the White House. And if there is any event anywhere that affects the economy or scumbaggery, I can flip the kill switch. And we'll all live and step into the internet darkness together. As one. God bless America.
It's a pretty good impersonation.
I have a black man inside of me.
Yeah, that's as easy as it'll take to do. I mean, it's as fast as it came, as fast as it'll leave. But going back to the options, the same, the two hands from the same person. The internet was kind of handed to us by the military, so it comes with some strings attached to it. That's why you got to just keep doing what you're going to do, and you're going to get the trolls, you're going to get the, possibly remote attacks and stuff like that, and you just got to deal with it. But this has been, when they gave us the internet in the early 90s with a ding, dial-up and stuff like that, usually people that are more wealthy and better off had the internet. I wasn't even on the internet until I was in the military, like in 2004, I think it was. So, people are used to it. It's a part of their life, like these cell phones. I would say these dang cell phones because I can't stand them, but the internet's been around long enough to where it's become a part of their life. They don't want to get rid of it, and now they're ready to compromise. They're ready to compromise their ability to speak freely and visit certain websites and share copyrighted content freely, and that's all being slowly taken away now. But they can do it because people are used to it. And me personally, I can't prove this, but I think that was part of the plan by this global elite, was to kind of, dangle it out there and say, here, come on, we know you're going to like it. And then once they like it and they get used to it, there comes the censorship. Got to rein it in, right?
Yeah, the most important boat that we ever board in our life is a censorship. And this is the thing. The censorship is a Titanic. It's going down, man. And there ain't enough life rafts. So you got to think about this. The media is now irrelevant. Okay, I'm sorry, that's the truth. It's now irrelevant. It doesn't matter anymore. Sorry. Okay, they've come too far. They're no longer forgivable. It doesn't matter how good their news stories become. I don't think people can ever trust them again. And therefore, the solution is not to try and save this kind of mediaocracy of scumbaggery or anything like that, or try and change it, but to replace it with something better, to build all new facilities that are outside of their control, that are self-owned, self-published, the very thing that they took away in the 80s and 90s when they consolidated something like 500 media companies in the States down to like 5, 6, 7 of them, the very thing that they tried there can be reversed, but only with the internet is the problem. Production with print and with airing things on television is incredibly expensive. Whereas if you're online, it's all about just getting the audience, and people can spread word for you, and sometimes funding comes in from the people who consume your content, that kind of thing. So there's a myriad of things that happen, and it's intensely complicated, it's intensely interesting, it's really fun, and you've got the extra added bonus of knowing that you're doing something right.
Exactly.